Anyway, why does Ken Berry say that food sensitivity tests are a waste of money, but you recommend sometimes to go to a naturopath and do such tests? Are there different tests? No. Look, let me put it this way. I don't know why Ken says that. I've got no idea. Ken is trained as an MD, a medical doctor. Naturopaths are slightly different. They tend to do this sort of stuff. As I said, MDs sort of focus on surgical techniques, medicines, and stuff like that. And his probably his approach is, well, if you eat a species appropriate diet over time, any of these sensitivities will go away. My sort of approach is a bit different than other carnivores. I tend to basically, because I do know that we have had genetic changes in the last 10,000 years since agriculture started, and we were exposed to more plants than in the past, and domesticated animals and stuff like that. And there have been a number of changes, whether it's, the lactose persistency thing, the choline issue, all these different things, the beta carotene conversion issues. So there have been a lot of changes across. So in my sort of book, I don't think it's a good idea to just basically say, well, let's just ignore that. I think it's not a bad thing to obviously, I think I know where he's coming from. He's probably saying, if you're sensitive to a food, you know that you're sensitive to it. You eat it, you respond in a sensitive ways, but that doesn't mean necessarily that you are sensitive to that food. You may have gut permeability issues, and so that may be your issue. Where if you fix the gut permeability issues, you may not have zero sensitivity. Doing a sensitivity panel will give you a full-blown sensitivity on many things. It's not only food. It will also give you about the environment, other compounds in the environment. And so there may be things in your environment you're not aware of, and a naturopathic doctor may actually see that you're reacting to certain compounds, and then you seem to have a stronger reaction, which means that you have had some past exposure, and then they may recommend that you assess the hygiene of the work or home environment and make changes to eliminate that sensitivity, to desensitize you to whatever compound may be in that environment. So when I'm talking about sensitivity checks, I'm not talking about only food. I'm talking across the board, because I think that, and I've always said this, our environment is not only food. It's the place we live in. We don't live in open areas or in caves anymore. We live in, homes, brick, wooden, whatever homes. We work in boxes in the city. I do anyway. Well, it's in a sort of an open office type environment, but anyway. So we're exposed to different things, different levels of blue light exposure and stuff like that. I've actually got one of those red bands as well for a USB thing. So got it at work. Not here, but at work. I need to probably get one here. Anyway, that's another thing to order at some stage. So those sort of things to improve my living environment is important as well. So I look at all these sort of factors. I don't look at just the nutritional side. I know Ken probably looks more at that. He's probably less aware of deuterium. He's less aware of light and stuff like that. Not everyone, because he's got a day job. He's a doctor, so he's got a long schedule and all that. He does, and he's got, like a lot of people that he consults with and stuff like that. So he's got a busy schedule. So he's getting less exposure in non-food related issues and stuff like that and other sensitivities. So he probably is less aware of those things. Probably as he goes on, he'll interact with more people with issues like that and may actually look into that. I don't know. or some of you people may bring that to his attention. But he's still a smart man. He's quite good, and he's open to new ideas and new thinking and stuff like that. He came to when he came across one of my videos on the calcium issue and raising, low blood serum, calcium, raising blood sugar, the video that I made a while ago about that 24% of people. He found that intriguing. So I'm not saying he's not closed-minded. He's interested in new ideas, but I suspect because of his time schedule and all that, he's got young kids as well. Some people have got limited time. You've got to take that into consideration. So in food sensitivity, he's probably right. If you eat a food and you're actually sensitive to it, do you need to test for it? That you're sensitive to it, especially if you've done all the other stuff. If you've got a good vitamin D status, you're eating animal foods for some period of time, your tight junctions are closed, you're not getting any other reactivity, and then you eat something like you eat and you react to it, you have a food sensitivity. You eat an egg, that didn't go down well. Or you eat some crustaceans, seafood, that didn't really go down well. You've got a sensitivity to those foods. So I don't think he's completely, wrong in that regard. But when I talk about getting tested for sensitivities, I'm talking about a whole panel, covering food and non-food, the whole lot. But at the same time, that's up to people, whether they want to spend the money, whether they want to do it, or whether they just want to persist in what they're doing and slowly heal. Because you will heal on a carnivore diet over time. It just will take a bit longer. Having knowledge about what sensitivities you've got may help you resolve that a bit faster, and using some biohacks. That's the only difference. That's the way I approach it. But that's my style. Everybody's got their own style.